Hi everyone, welcome back to our Alumni Spotlight interview program. And my name is Ted, and today we've got a special guest, Avleen Kaur, and she graduated from Centennial College in uh, April 2023, and she started working as a research and development technician at Dira Food Company in May 2023, which is very amazing. So, so let's get started to our interview. So my first question is, how did you end up with your first job as a research and development technician at Dira Food Company right after graduation?
During my last semester, I started researching about my job, like how to get it, how to land it. Because during our last semester, we took our course in food science seminar, right?
Yeah.
We all have this course. That course really helped me in finding the job. And our professor Henry usually post, okay, this is the co-op. This company is looking for the co-op. And I also researched on LinkedIn which positions are available, which positions are companies going to, get out. Okay, this is the position that we're going to hire to. So for me, Professor Henry was the reason that I got the job. And
I
yes, she posted a co-op internship for uh, R&D technician at Giraffe Foods. I got an interview. I cleared that interview, and I think interview was in February or March, I guess.
Oh,
They called me back to join in April.
oh,
So this is
very
how I
nice.
got my first internship, and luckily they had the position of product developer right after my internship.
Oh,
So I
it's really
applied
good.
to that.
Uh-huh.
I applied to that, and yes, and there were a few other applicants also. But once you are in the company get to know you, you work hard. So they really prefer that who is working in the company. They really prefer that person over. I mean, we always have like a plus point by
Yeah,
working inside the company rather than who is applying from outside the company.
exactly. Yeah,
Yes. Mhm.
nice. Oh, so your internship was your internship program was in this winter semester? Is it like that?
My internship was in, so it started from May 1st
Mm-hmm.
to August 31st.
Ah, I see.
And yes, and I got the call in April. I guess on April 4th was my interview with Giraffe, and April 21st was the last day of the semester.
Ah,
So I feel really lucky and blessed, and I really appreciate the professor's efforts, mm,
yeah, yeah.
like through which I got this job. And so yes, 1st May to August 31st, and then 1st of the September was my first permanent employee
Oh,
job started. Yes.
I see. It's really good.
Thank you.
And so, so my second question is, what
Mhm.
kind of strengths do you have that do you think which made you land that position?
I would say first is consistency. You
Consistency.
constantly need to do research, job research. And the second is to never give up. Even if you are getting rejections,
Mhm.
don't give up. Do apply to every job you get. You have opportunity to go for it. Don't be like, okay, no, maybe next time.
Mhm.
That can land you in a very difficult position because
Yeah.
uh, during my course, I did not applied to many jobs in during my third semester. I actually started applying during my fourth semester,
Mhm.
but I think it would be really helpful if I have started earlier.
Yeah,
More
I
helpful,
see.
I would say,
I see.
because you get to know the process of how
Mhm.
companies work, how these job researching work, how networking works for us. So for me, it would be really better, or I would say I would suggest everyone that do it before the fourth semester starts. Do your research
Mhm.
about which companies do you want to apply to. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad that I got this position because that was the end of semester, literally end of everything. But luckily, I got the job.
Yeah, but you deserve the job, right?
Yes.
So yeah, so these days the job market is really competitive. So
Mhm,
everyone like finds struggles whenever they find a job. So or I've got another question for related to that one. What kind of
mhm.
challenges did you have during your job search and how did you try to improve them, fix them?
I felt like I did not have enough connections, like networking. That I found it really difficult to connect with people.
Hmm. Yeah.
You have to message everyone. You have to, we need to sell ourselves that we are good for your company. Like,
Mhm.
consider us, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So I find it really challenging to connect with people on LinkedIn or like through any networking sites, right?
Yeah.
I would suggest people to do it on early stage of finding the job. So like on you're doing your course, start looking for co-ops, start looking for even the contract positions. This way you can build your network. That
Mhm.
was the challenge for me, and also work on your resume. My resume was so bad. I couldn't. It was so bad, and I sent it to my professor without knowing that it is not good enough to even get looked at. So
Mm.
she suggested that
Mm.
no, Avleen, you need to improve your resume. Then I sent it back again. Again, she said that no, this is not a good resume. Work on it. And then she suggested go to our success advisors
Mhm. Yeah.
who helps us in building a resume. Then I connected with a success advisor at Centennial.
Yeah.
She helped me improving my resume, and it really looked good. And that was one of the, I would say, main reasons that my resume got selected, because it
Mhm.
was very up to date, very organized, and what to put on the resume, what not to put on the resume, all of
Mhm.
things were guided by our success advisor. And I really want everyone to get their resume checked before sending it out, because
Yeah.
for me, I did it on the deadline date. So I don't want this happen to anyone. So do get help if you are struggling with your resumes. That would be a really nice way to start anything.
I see. So you
Mhm,
said about the resume,
mhm,
facing right. So, in your resume as well, what was the like the very first one and the very up to date one? What are the major
mhm.
differences between these two resumes?
So I did not have any job experience, right?
Hmm.
Before my studies or even in Canada. I have never worked. So my main point was my education or any internship that I have ever had in my back home country. So success advisor suggested put on your education first, then your any relevant experience if you have. So, or any projects that you have worked on in the Centennial.
Yeah.
So, actually, Giraffe Foods is the sauces company. So, I don't know if biotech students had this course, but we had the project development course in my course. I am a food science student, food science and technology.
Oh.
So, in that course,
Hmm.
in particular subject, I worked on the aquafaba mayonnaise. So that was the that is the sauce, right? So
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
was the main project that I worked on for like 4 months. I
Oh.
highlighted it on my resume
Mhm.
as I was applying to the sauce company, right?
Yeah.
So they kind of noticed that she
Mhm.
had already worked on the sauce
Mhm.
during
Yeah.
her course, right?
Mhm.
So that kind of these kind of things you need to put on your resume related to that company, I would say.
Yeah.
So the my first was I put my education
Mhm.
and then relevant experience and then other experience that I had. I worked on Tim Hortons. These kind of things are also important because
Mhm.
the more you have worked on, even if it is not related to the food industry, it shows that you are a hardworking person. You have
Yeah.
worked
Mhm.
so many different jobs and you have learned what you have learned from different jobs that can help you building your professional career.
Yeah.
That is really important. So
I.
I have worked in Popeye, so during my interview, I did not put it on my resume, but I told them, okay, I have worked at Popeyes also. They
Mhm.
said you should put these things on your resume.
Mhm.
It is really nice to see that you have worked at so many places.
I
So
see. Yeah.
put everything on your resume,
Mhm.
but don't make it too long. Two
Mhm.
pages are enough.
Mhm.
Um, I would suggest yes, 2 pages are enough, and follow everything that Centennial resume pattern has.
I see.
These
Yeah.
are the best resumes I can ever imagine.
Oh, you mean
There
from
are
the
many,
higher Centennial?
yes.
Ah, I see.
So they have many resumes. I mean,
Mhm.
they have templates, they have cover letter templates.
Mhm.
They teach us in food science seminar, right?
Yeah.
And do connect to a success advisor if you are struggling with how to put a thing on your resume. I mean, anyone can write a line, right? But
Yeah.
how to express the line in a technical way, that's a
Mhm.
different thing.
Yeah. I
That
see.
is what I was struggling with. So, one of the success advisor that helped me in putting the lines in the professional way,
Mhm.
that was the main thing.
Yeah. That's really a good idea.
Yes.
So, so my next question is, what
Mhm.
does a typical working day look like as a research and development technician?
Uh, so what we do is
Mhm.
in our name is product developer, right? So
Yeah.
we develop new products. For
Oh.
example, so we are a private label company. So for example, one of our customer says, okay, we need this sauce, but with more sweetness,
Mhm.
more viscosity,
Oh.
or maybe more thickness, it needs to have
Mhm.
more body or anything like that. So we make changes to them, we revise them again and again until they are fully satisfied. Okay, this is the one product we need to sell it to the market.
Mhm.
And then we get the bigger sample production in our production house. We have first production of that sauce, and then it goes to the customer and how but we just make asses again and again and again until the customer is satisfied. Okay, this is the right product. This is how starches work. This is how um, fat work in the sauces. This
Mhm.
is basically it is all chemistry. How
Chemistry.
starches do, how fats do, how which ingredient can work better, how we can improve the flavor, how we can improve the
Mhm.
mm, any anything in the particular product.
Oh.
So yes, that's very interesting to learn how we
Mhm.
can change
Yeah.
the color of any product. It is so interesting.
Yeah. Is it more related to analytical chemistry course?
I'm sorry?
Is it more related to analytical chemistry course that we have?
No, I would say, and yes. I mean, it is like basic chemistry, not the higher
Oh.
level chemistry.
Oh.
So it is like I would say if you know about fats, if you know about starches, if you know about
Mhm.
gums, if you know about um, like acids.
Mhm.
So you can determine how we can change the acid profile of any sauce, how we can regulate the pH, how we can make a sauce without preservative, but it is a safe sauce to
Mhm.
distribute, right?
Yeah.
So, yes, it is based on chemistry, but all of these things comes with experience.
Oh.
The more you have practical experience, on-hand experience, theoretically you can learn, yes, okay,
Mhm.
this can help. But once you put the product in the food,
Mhm.
sometimes it reacts in a different way.
Yeah.
So basic chemistry is really important, I would say, and more practical experience, and do spend more time in lab. Even Centennial Lab, do spend more time in lab. I mean, that's one of the best things Centennial got. Centennial labs are so nice and knowledgeable labs. We can
I
get
see.
so much experience from that.
Oh, I got it. So, there goes my another question. Like, what are the
Hmm.
differences and similarities between the college labs and the
Hmm.
actual fieldwork?
So similarities a lot.
Mhm.
Differences is just our lab is small and actual field lab is bigger lab.
Uh-huh.
That's the difference. But I would say that Centennial lab work and lab instruments are very efficiently designed that if one is paying literally 100% attention to the Centennial Labs instruments, how to work it, how to, I mean, if we know the basic principles of every
Mhm.
instrument that we have in our labs, I would say that can really help in excelling in the field work because there might be a new instrument. For example, to we use penetrometer, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So if there is a basic penetrometer in our lab, and if there is upgraded version of penetrometer in the field work, but you know the basic principle how it works, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
It can really help you in excelling and learning more faster in the field work. And it is good if you learn fast because what that is what industry wants, right?
Mhm.
To
Yeah.
learn fast, work fast, have make fast decisions, right? And correct decisions. So uh, Centennial labs are very efficient and I would really suggest that pay more attention in the labs.
Mhm.
It is really helpful if you know the basic principle of every instrument, how to use it, where to use it, when to use it. It would really helpful.
I see. Yeah.
Yes.
So, it's very similar, but just a little bit uh update or like in the actual field, like, right?
Yes. So I meant to say, like, for example, giraffe foods. We internally don't have microbiology labs, so we don't use the microbiological equipments, right?
Oh,
But
yeah.
we have microbiology lab at a different place.
Mhm.
Those person uses the microbiological instruments. We only use like to adjust pH, to adjust viscosity,
Mhm.
that kind of instruments.
Ah.
So it depends on um, the place of work,
Mhm.
and Centennial has all of it, like all the microbiological
Yeah.
equipments, all the other equipments. They have the pH meter, they have everything. So for me, I would say do learn about equipments, do learn about how to work safely with those equipments because it will really, really help you understand more.
So, so the next question is, imagine
Hmm.
if you were to go back to school now. So, is
Hmm.
there anything that you will avoid doing and start doing as a student?
I would say I would avoid spending too much time in cafeteria and start spending in the lab because I think lab is the best place to be because now I feel like I could have known more if I would have paid
Mhm.
more attention, right?
Oh,
But
I
every
see. Mhm.
industry will teach you. They
Mhm.
won't say,
Yeah.
okay, you don't know this. Why do you don't know this? They will teach you. But it would be more, we would be more efficient if we already know the equipment, right?
Yeah.
We know the basic principles, we know everything about it, we know how to use it.
Mm,
So our lab doesn't have a penetrometer. We never use it. I mean, sauces doesn't have that kind of thing, uh, or it is not related to sauces, so we
mhm,
don't have the penetrometer. But one day our manager said, okay, we need to create a penetrometer.
mhm.
Somehow do it with our lab equipments, whatever it is available. So
I
we
see.
kind of need to do it, and we did it. Me and my colleague, we designed a kind of a replica of
Mhm.
penetrometer. I mean, we couldn't have done it if we haven't used it
Yeah.
ever, right?
Yeah.
We so that's why I always say, or I always say to even the new students or whosoever is doing this course, learn about the lab as much as you can.
Mm,
Because sometimes people ask questions or interviewer ask question about the labs. Okay,
mm.
so one of my question during my interview was, what type of equipment do you know?
Oh.
That
Oh.
was the question, and that was kind of
Uh-huh.
the main question they asked.
Oh.
Yes, and honestly, I just remember the bricks meter
Mhm.
and the pH meter,
Uh-huh.
and there was one Bostwick. I was
Uh-huh.
like,
Yeah.
okay, I do remember the spectrophotometer, and I remembered
Mhm.
all the bigger ones. And they
Yeah.
said, can you narrow it down to the basic instruments? And I
Mhm.
couldn't remember the basic instruments.
Oh.
And
Uh-huh.
I was like, I'm sorry, I cannot, nothing is coming to my mind. I just know the bigger instruments.
Uh-huh.
And they said, it's okay. We know, it's okay. I
Oh.
mean, the smallest pH meter, they were
Mhm.
looking for the answer for the pH meter, not
Mhm.
the spectrophotometer, not any other instrument, not the bigger ones.
Uh-huh.
They were expecting me to say pH meter.
Oh.
Yes, and I was like, oh, and they then
Mhm.
answered the question, do you know
Mhm.
the pH meter? I was like, yes, I know the
Yeah,
pH
of
meter.
course.
Of course, I know the pH meter.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, these small details, these small things in the lab, we don't even sometimes care about, okay, this is pH meter, just take the reading.
Mhm.
Do learn about them.
I see.
Learn about the lab the most.
Got it. So you will avoid uh, being in the cafeteria and start doing in the lab more.
Yeah, I would say yes. But cafeterias are fun too, so I wouldn't demotivate people to not go to cafeteria. But yes,
Mhm.
if you want to learn more
Mhm.
and do the actual field work really soon, labs are really important.
Right.
As theoretical experience is important, but the more practical knowledge you have, the more is the better.
Got it. So do they also test you the theoretical knowledge in your interview?
Um, Not that much.
Mhm.
They, for my interview, they knew that I am just starting already.
Yeah.
So they asked me about the basic questions. Okay, what are the lab safety instructions that you
Oh.
would say, right?
Yeah.
And what are the basic instruments that you know?
Mhm.
I have worked on the ecofaba mayonnaise, right, in my
Mm.
project. So they asked about me about my project. Okay, what did you do in the project? What was the main highlights of the project? And are you in the food science seminar course right now?
No, I'm from biotechnology.
Oh, you're from writing. Okay.
Yeah.
So in the food science seminar course, Professor Henry taught us
Mhm.
that course. And in that course, she gave us a bunch of questions that can be asked in the interview.
Oh,
So there was like an activity,
I
it
see.
was
Yeah.
an activity for us
Mhm.
to do it. And I remembered all the questions because during that time I was planning to, give interviews and stuff
Mhm.
like that. And every question that she provided
Mhm.
was in my interview.
Wow.
Every single question. And I was so surprised. I mean,
Yeah.
all of these are basic questions, but
Mhm.
yes. But once when you are in an interview, you
Mhm.
will feel like, okay, what do I answer? These are very
Yeah,
basic questions, but
exactly.
you're like, okay, you're completely blank.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, you're scared, you're nervous.
Uh-huh.
That's why you go blank, right? But
Mhm.
when you prepare the questions beforehand, it really helps.
Yeah. That's
Don't go without preparation. Always basic questions, yes. Always learn about how to answer, what to uh, answer with examples,
mhm.
and basic questions are always there, always there. They will be in every interview. The rest of the questions are uh, based on what positions you are applying. So mine
I
was
see.
co-op. They did not ask me that much technical questions because they knew that I am a kind of a newbie.
Yeah.
So they did not ask me that many questions.
Mhm.
But sometimes, if you're applying for the quality technician job or quality assurance job, they'll ask you HACCP questions or GMP.
Oh.
They'll ask you that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I see. So it depends on the job we apply for.
job you are applying to. Yes.
So like, my next question is,
Mhm.
are there any certifications or trainings that you will suggest to help students secure jobs?
So, for me, I did not do any certifications,
Mhm.
but I would suggest that if you're applying for quality assurance, quality technician, HACCP can help.
How's that?
HACCP
Uh,
certification or GMP, they are kind of expensive, but sometimes, company provide certifications to their employees. Once you get hired, and they can up, make you do HACCP certification, right?
yeah.
But sometimes, if you have done it already, it can help.
I see.
Yeah.
And has that by mean has that you mean the HACCP?
HACCP, yes.
HACCP.
HACCP or GMP, they are kind of expensive, but if you have resources, do it. If you
Mm-hmm.
don't worry about it. Just apply for job. It's
I
okay.
see. Okay. So, so this is my last question, and I think
Mhm,
it might be the most important question. Like,
mhm.
so, what kind of networking strategies advice you will give to students?
First, stay
Mhm.
connected with your professors. That is the most important thing because they know many industries, right?
Mhm,
They
yeah.
know people in the industries. They can send your resume, and the industry manager or journal manager or vice president, they'll know that, okay, this person is sent by someone we know.
Yeah.
Someone is recommending you. For example,
Mhm,
professor is recommending us. So
mhm,
that is how I got my job because
mhm,
Professor Henry sent my resume to the giraffe. So
mhm,
my manager already knew Professor Henry. So
yeah.
when she recommend anyone, most of the time people get job.
I see.
And I mean, it depends on how many people applied, how your
Mhm,
resume is sounding. It does depend on other factors also, but
mhm,
um, always stay connected with your professors because that is one of the main, I would say, uh, path to get a job.
mhm,
And
yeah.
second is to connect people on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn is a good way to connect with people, connect with companies, connect
Mhm,
with big companies and their managers, their whosoever is working there. If you know someone from the company, that's the best thing because they can
mhm,
recommend you. Okay, I know this person is good, or whatever your qualities are, right? And the third one, I would say, um, apply on companies' websites rather than applying on Indeed
mhm,
or any other platform. Go to the company's website
mhm.
and apply from there. You can cut your competition in half.
Oh,
So if 500 are applying on
mhm,
Indeed, there are 250 people who are applying on the company's website.
I see.
Go to company's website, send your resume to the HR because they usually say send the resume to HR and they apply, they usually give the email of HR, human
Yeah.
resources and stuff. So I really recommend apply on company's website. Don't go, apply on Indeed. If you can do it, but I suggest go on company's website to cut the competition. You are already ahead of like 250 people if 500 are applying, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
your chances are better to win, right?
Exactly.
Companies' websites are really, really nice way to get a job.
I got it.
Professor, LinkedIn, company's website,
Company
these
website.
three are the best way to land a good job.
Got it. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, so yeah, that's it. I don't have any more questions. And yeah,
Thank
thank you
you.
so much for joining me today and also participating
Thank
in our
you.
program. And thank you for watching this video. And please subscribe our channel for more interesting video. And also don't forget to hit the like button. So thank you very much, Alvin.